Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Ed. Today I'm going to be talking about LI Auto Incorporations. I'm going to go through technical analysis briefly, then DD, a little bit about the company, and a bit of comparison. Now, this is going to be loaned from my other video that I'm going to be comparing it to Neo. That will be another video. You'll find it later on my channel. Let's jump right into it. Now, on a one-day perspective, just because this one is a little bit newer, we get to see an MACD that looks really bullish. MACD line above the signal line and really shows a strong momentum up at 712. We get to see right now the 80X shows in a very strong trend at 34.34. And what we see here is volumes that are not actually trending down. It just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. And that is amazing. That's actually really bullish. Now, when we look into William %R, what we get to see here right off the bat is that the stock is overbought. And, you know, there's no doubt on it. I mean, you look into 1792, definitely William %R is going to tell you it's overbought. It's been overbought for all the way since it was around 1951, 1792. Now, right now, moving averages looks extremely bullish. Look at that. 10 SMA is above the 30 SMA and it's above the 50 SMA. Bullish, bullish, bullish. Now, we can take a look into a 2-hour perspective, you know, just for the sake of it. It doesn't give us much. I mean, it still looks really bullish. You see that really nice uptrend on a 2-hour perspective. But 2 hours, just for the next 2 hours, it looks like it's a massive uptrend for the last 5 days, and you know, that's the only thing we can get out of it. Now, moving averages here, unbalanced volume looks like it's the highest it's ever been. Inflow is greater than outflow, and that is amazing. Now, the moving average band, and you get to see here, it's barely traded within it. I mean, it's been bouncing back and forth. On the top, it's expected 2262, on the middle, 2056, and on the bottom, 1851. That's the current, basically, indication that we're sitting at. Stochastic fast and stochastic slow. This gives us basically an idea of perhaps entries and exits and when to, roughly, right? So it has a little bit of a lower accuracy, but think about it as a compass, for instance. Now, right now, it's showing that it's still, it might actually see a pullback. You get to see this line here. I'm going to zoom in. You get to see this line is kind of curving down. That's a little bit dangerous, right? You usually trust the %D fast more than the K fast in the stochastic fast, but then look at the slow. The slow looks like it's actually curving back up. So it's basically an indication that says warning sign, but it might have another leg. That's basically what I'm going to take it as. Now, supports and resistances, and that's very important, but for chart this little, I mean, all the way back in August is where it kind of started. It's a little bit tricky to try to identify all the supports and resistances. So that's why Fibonacci retracement is very useful. The current support sits at 2545 for Fibonacci retracements, followed by 2307 and 2140. Resistance is, of course, the all 52-week high of 2849. That was hit today. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1 month, 2 hours, to try to identify supports and resistance, just because we don't have a massive chart at this level back. So the current support you're looking at is 2715, and as I actually talk about this one here, it's actually still jumping up. Below that, 2671. Below that, 25.99. Below that, 24.47. And 22.98. And then we're looking all the way down to 21.53. Resistances, right now, 28.49. That's, I mean, it really doesn't have any resistance, right? Usually you try to count almost every dollar up, right? 28.49 after 28.49 will probably be around roughly 30. So you try to think about human psychology and the numbers that probably jump up. Usually they jump up either every dollar, every $2, because, you know, you round up. When you go to Walmart, whatever, and you ask, someone's asking you for donations, they ask you, well, you want to round this up. Usually this is what happens here. You know, your psychology, you probably want like to buy, right? Right now, 27.64, your tolerance is all the way up to like 28. That's how realistic it is. Now, taking a quick look into the company's information and stuff, we don't have a lot, but right now I do have enough to tell you the next move for this one. And taking a quick look, let's start with their vehicle itself, okay? The Ideal, I believe it's called the One, or Ideal. Now, excuse me, this is literally, all I did was right-click on Google Chrome and translate to English. I had problems trying to find basically their English website. I'm not sure if it even exists, but I might be missing something here. But vehicle is called the Ideal One, or at least that's what they say over here, but either known as Ideal One or One. It goes for $328,800 done. So when you're looking at that, that's almost, let's say, make it up to US dollars for today. And it comes out to be almost around $50,000. Now the American dollar, as you can see, it's kind of fluctuating a little. So I'll say around 50,000 would be probably the mark you're looking at for Chinese yuan. And taking a quick look into, let's say, a comparison to a Model X Tesla, because it has 7 seats, right? This one is a van. And so for this one here, for a Model X, double checking, yes, there's Model X again. This one goes around 74,690. So this is the cheaper model out of the two. By the way, I switched from Canadian to American for the metric system. I'll compare in a minute. We're looking at 75 for looking at a Tesla being around 50% more expensive. Now taking a quick look into, let's say, their I think I almost lost it there. Yep, right back. Taking a quick look into their specs. This one here has an 800 kilometer cruise range. This one here has 597 kilometers. I'm using kilometers to be accurate. Both the sites offer kilometer measurements. It offers a top speed of 250 kilometers per hour. This one here, it doesn't give you that measurement, I mean, at least off the bat, but I do imagine it's very much comparable. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 6.5 seconds. It's 4.6 on the Tesla, so the Tesla one is faster, but I don't imagine why that would be massive kind of indication for people, let's say, using electrical cars in that kind of category, which is basically a family SUV. I don't imagine someone to be racing in that. So total power is 40.5 kilowatts per hour. I don't have this information right off the bat on here, but I know it is comparable between the two, from what I remember. The next thing we're looking at is basically their website. Once again, this is basically a Google translation, so you'll find probably a lot of errors here. But what I like about their website is, well, even though they're taking a book out of Tesla's page, you see, well, of course, they have their event and presentation. This is the earnings. This is a massive catalyst on November 13th, and I'll talk about the estimation for myself about it in a minute. But they basically kind of give you an insight into the news here, almost every little bit on it. But the one thing that is interesting to me is the ideal car community. You get to see it's more of also giving a Tesla kind of vibe, where community showcasing, taking pictures and all that stuff. That's almost a Tesla culture. And you get to see it's almost recreating that kind of culture, right? Pictures, and it becomes in more of almost like a toy rather than a car taking you from A to B, right? And this is the kind of feeling that I'm getting off from their website. Now comes into the question all right, Ed, how does Institutional feel about it? Not a lot of details from Institutions, but I know they have bought around 441,000 all the way back in October. Legato Capital for around 391 average on shares, so they do definitely are cashing up around 10 times that. Exciting. Next is their earnings anticipation, right? But before that is back in September, they announced adaptation of NVIDIA's next generation autonomous driving smart chips, Orin, and it will be launched all the way in 2022, which is quite interesting to see, and I'm very excited to see that kind of chip being used in production. But that's a way ahead catalyst. You might hear about it later on in the future. Now, earnings. Let's take a look into the earnings. 2020 quarter 1, 2,800 or almost 2,900 vehicles. 2020 quarter 2, 6,600 vehicles. 2020 July and August, and this is kind of going into almost quarter 3, 5,156, and this was back in for the month of August. See September. So for September, quarter 3 comes out at 8,700, almost 8,700, 8,600. And that is exciting because you get to see higher and higher in terms of deliveries, and that is exciting too, right? October hit a massive milestone, and we're going on to almost January to October to 21,852. And I believe that was also mentioned in their news. Delivered more than 20,000 ideal one in 10 months, and that's the milestone that we hit, and that's probably why you're seeing it increasing over and over. But quarter 3, so far, we've beat quarter 2 by around 30%. and quarter one by almost, well, more than double. So double would be the 6,000, another one would be almost 9,000, so it's a really massive increase. But one thing here that a lot of people have forgotten to check, and I'm going to notice here, is the company had 31 retail stores covering 26 cities in August 31st, 1 month ahead. 35 retail stores covering 30 cities, 1 month ahead. 41 retail stores covering 36 cities. The amount of progress these guys are making is, well, quite exciting. And this one here definitely goes on into one of my longer investment videos, and I'm going to be comparing it with in the industry, how the industry is performing as a whole, things like Neo, and it's going to be an exciting video, so definitely look for that one. What do you think about this ticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like to help this channel, and have a good day.